Next Legacy.
Are you searching for the perfect gift? Or do you just need a unique statement piece for yourself? Well, either way, Danaya Azure will help you out. What you need is the S4S jewelry collection by Danaya Designs for You. S4S stands for strictly for a stage. Stand out at your next photo or video shoot. Snag that magazine cover. Go from being a part-time extra to an actor or actress who stays booked. Or just be the talk of the town at every event. Danaya Designs for You jewelry is handcrafted and Chicago made for men, women, and children. To start your collection, simply go to www.danayaazure.com. That's www.danayaazure.com. That's www.danayaazure.com.
Next Legacy.
Yo, you with your boy Abe, last name Ilo from AFL 35 in the commission. You tuned in to your girl Danaya Azure Radio.
Abe.
What's good?
What's good? What's good? How are you, sir?
Man, I'm fantastic. Blessed, you know.
So I met the phenomenal Abe because Malik Youssef was requested to create a poem for one of the paintings that his amazing grandmother's Annie Lee created called Blue Monday. And after we created that poem, obviously there's a conversation, and now we're working on a musical project with him as well.
Facts.
So how did you originally get into music? I know how you got into art, but how did you get into music?
How did I get into music?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Music has been a big part of my life, my whole life. It's like music has timestamped all the great events in my life. You know, when growing up, my pops was a DJ. From Chicago, we got a real big family. You know, the Smith, Grandma Mary and the Smith clan, you know, we there's a bunch of us. So whenever we had get-togethers, my dad would load up his crates of records and his equipment, and, you know, so I just was always around music. I felt it, you know, and in a lot of ways, it kind of shaped the person that I am. So, you know, for me to actually become an artist, you know, one of the first toys that I got when I was old enough to start writing poems, my mom got me a Singleodian, and, you know, I never looked back. You know what I'm saying? I've been writing and rapping and doing music ever since.
I love it. I love it. So let the world know, because you grew up with the phenomenal Annie Lee. So let the world know what that experience was like.
Growing up with Annie?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you notice what I just called her, right?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, one of my first most vivid memories with my grandmother is she told me, "Don't call me grandma, call me Annie." I got a name, and you can call me by my name. And from that day, we became best friends because she was the first, like the time period I grew up in, you had to say no ma'am and yes ma'am, yes sir. She didn't want none of that. When you talk, I don't want to hear none of that yes sir, and because that just wasn't what she was into. That's not where her frequency was at. So she said, "You tell me yes and no, and my name is Annie." And everything we do was on a respect level. So from a kid, she spoke to me like somebody who had sense, like a equal. And as a result of that, she was just the person that I could just be myself 100% around all the time from childhood on. And our relationship, at a certain point, it was through my Uncle Pip, her son. You know, he was my everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm my mother's oldest child, And she was the oldest, and she had a little brother Pip. So Pip, when you look at all my baby pictures and child pictures, if you see me, you see Pip. You see Pip, you see me. You know what I mean? He basically raised me. So my relationship with her was like damn near like a second son.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of funny because it created a conflict in a way with my father, because I'm my father's firstborn. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I felt kind of like pulled between two different households in a way where I never felt it was necessary to make a choice, because I was I was going to love my grandmother and my uncle regardless, but the upbringing was different. So if I'm used to saying yes and no over here with her, and then I get home and my pops ask me something, I'm like, yes. You're like, what you mean? Yes, yes, sir. Oh, like yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? So I literally had the yin and the yang of that experience. And so in a lot of ways, that's what it was like growing up with Annie. But she was fun though. Like Annie was the party house where people come to go play cards, where they come to hang out, And what was funny about Annie and my pops having this little back and forth thing was that they still hung out together, and they still, it was always still family. So a lot of her art, what you see, is kind of like what it was like growing up, just kind of put on a canvas, you know?
That's awesome. And the founder of the Annie Lee Foundation, as well as author and hip hop artist and songwriter and bad kid,
Yes,
Hi
sir.
Bailey, aka Lord Ellis, my
On
guest here
phone
on
now.
Danaya Azure Radio.
Yeah. Bad Kids is the family. Believe that. Shout out to my big bro, Malik, man. Doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? I love you, brother. I told him a long time ago when we first started chopping it up, and I realized he was the Aries. We both fire signs. I'm a Sagittarius. So
Yes.
I said, I had kind of, just life going the way that it go. I really had to step away from my passion of music, and just take care of business, take care of my family in other ways. But music is my like I said, man, that's my love. So, getting in tune with him through this project that we was doing, we formed a commission. Um, my brother Brian over at the wood shop put the team together, and with that team was him, myself, Granston, the Black Gucci out there in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And he brought in Malik to do the poems for the women's scarves with the Annie Lee images. So the plan was beautiful coming out the gate. But when I actually got to talk to Malik one-on-one and just realized a lot of the shared sentiments just about a lot of things, you know, um, spiritual things, I realized that, like, bro, you my lamb because you bringing me back to my original love. Like, you know what I'm saying? We working on this Annie Lee thing, but for me personally, to get back to the music and to be able to write again and to be around talented, like-minded people again, and to feel that creativity within myself woken back up, I love my brother for that, you know?
Most definitely. I cannot wait for y'all to hear this project. Oh my goodness. It is so amazing. So many people have come together. You're actually going to hear a couple poems for myself, a couple that I've done, that I've redone, that I'm saying that are for my mother. And then there's one of my poems in it as well, which I'm super proud to say. Yeah, it's just pretty amazing pieces that have come together within
Yeah,
this project.
yeah, I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all did a phenomenal job, and you could tell that everybody that was involved was invested. And that's really, you know what I'm saying, at this point in my life, that's the type of people I want to be around. If we involved, I want to know you invested, you know, because then we going to hold each other accountable to greatness. And in anything that I'm doing that's mentioned, it's not because I want to, you know, just be doing a whole bunch of things. I'm very focused, but it's at this point, it's about being around people that's involved, being also invested. So, it's a short list, and the people that's on it, man, they the best.
Most definitely. So when it came to Blue Monday, what made that be the first image that you wanted to work with?
Because that one is the one that is the closest to um, being around my grandmother, having her presence in the situation. You see Blue Monday. She called that her self portrait herself. You know what I'm saying? I've heard people that know something about something call that the Black Mona Lisa. You know what I'm saying? It's a very uh, it's a talisman for Black people. It's a reminder of the strength of our women. It's literally like the African American Statue of Liberty, if you will, because it's about having to get up to stand up.
Hmm.
So it's the foundation of a lot of things in terms of, like I said, when you get into frequency and spirituality, Blue Monday is like a North Star. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of had to start there, and we got so much volume to work with after Blue Monday, but you know
Yes.
everything is built on a strong foundation. So
And it most definitely is a strong foundation. So last year, I actually got to meet Avi in person at the Juneteenth festival.
right.
Explain to everyone how amazing that event was and why they definitely need to be there this year.
Well, first of all, just the fact that Juneteenth is a new uh, national holiday on behalf of the treatment of the Black people in this country, and to be able to have a festival that's for us and that's by us, years later, is a reflection of how far we've come as people, and that's an American story. They try to put a cap on our stories as just being Negro stories, which it is that. But like we said, from the foundation, everything grows. So it's an American story, and it's an Earth story, and it's our story. So you should be coming and supporting and being peaceful at Juneteenth events for that fact alone. If you Black, even if it's not ours, putting on your own, doing your own routine or tradition in your home for remembrance of why we are a proud people. You know, so for us to actually be sponsors with You Matter Too, which is the company that actually put it on, and it's a young lady, Destiny Watson, who is the founder and creator. You know, she's like an Annie Lee. You know what I'm saying? She's a Blue Monday in her own lane. You know, and so for us to be able to collaborate with her and bring the Annie Lee Art Foundation, or as I mentioned, AFL 35, because that encompasses the conglomerate of things that we're doing. But on the nonprofit side, for us to be able to use Annie Lee's foundation to support them and to elevate the event, because it's a festival. So
Mhm.
I really haven't been to too many festivals with an art installation. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother interview of how me and my partner, shout out to Buddy Finch, Nonstop Music. We was putting together a Juneteenth festival, and we was trying to do it in Glenwood, where my grandmother's gallery used to be, and we fought to get the street named after her, where the gallery used to be. So that's a little historical site. If anybody want to ride through Glenwood and stop and take a picture with the Annie Lee street sign where the gallery used to be. So we was trying to do our festival there. I was calling around looking for some interns to help with what we was putting on. And the woman that I called, who actually was the person who I worked with to get the street sign named after Annie, she said, I don't know how far along you are in your festival, but if you need some young African American interns, that to come and help you with your festival, you ever thought about linking up with You Matter Too? And
Mm.
I hadn't heard of them. And so she knew about them and gave me the information and let them know that I was going to call. And they were super excited to collaborate with the Annie Lee Foundation. And so they showed me the area that I was to put the exhibit. I became a sponsor, and we put together a great show. Now, ironically, by me being a sponsor instead of a vendor, I got an additional space. And in that space, we basically turned into a bad kids party
Period.
that rivaled the main stage. No diss to anybody that was on the main stage, but I had people coming up to me afterwards, like really complimenting the Bad Kids tent on how much it just kept the energy of the whole event going, how it complemented the exhibit that was directly across from it. A lot of photo ops, a lot of smiles, no drama whatsoever from authorities or from the attendees. You know, 5 to 10,000 people, just under 200 vendors, all African American. This is an all us thing that's going without a hitch. And then
Oh
the
wait, I forgot to
collaboration.
mention this is in Chicago, y'all.
Yes.
This is in the city.
This
Right,
right.
this
You know
right,
what I
this is
mean?
in Chicago, right? That place that everybody keeps on saying is so violent, this and third, and you can't do nothing here. Blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah. I forgot to mention that, but this was in Chicago, Chicago land. But
yeah. I mean, it was in the Chicagoland area where they tell you can't. I'm not talking about Wakanda. We was in Chicago.
come
You
on,
know what
let's
I mean?
go. Yo.
So yeah, I mean, it was just a good time. So if you want to come out, have a good time, celebrate Juneteenth, Blackness, Black excellence. They had a great food court. Out of the 15 pieces that I had, I sold like 3 of them. So it's actually commerce that's happening as well. You can come and spend some coin and get you some nice things. There was a lot. I didn't get to walk around much. I was pretty busy, but from what I've heard, it was a lot of nice vendors. They had some of everything. So even if you're a vendor, you might want to look into getting you a spot. They're going fast. We're gonna be there again. We're gonna turn up what we did with the exhibit last year, turn it up a notch, not too much. We're gonna turn it up a notch though. We're so the anticipated merch that I think would be beneficial for you to come is because we have some items that are specific to this event. I just put it like that.
Man, we got some amazing items coming up, and I have seen some of the fruits, and man, I
Yeah,
can't wait for y'all to see this because it is beautiful. Shout out to our incredible team, yo. Like, man, it's coming together for real.
yeah.
It's coming together for real. So,
And
what would you go ahead?
no, I was just gonna say if it's anything like last year, which I'm sure that it will be even better. It's worth coming to check out for yourself. We look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely, it's going to be amazing, no question. So, what would you say is one of the obstacles that you've had to overcome as an artist in Chicago?
As an artist,
Hmm.
um, that's a very interesting question because being called an artist means more than one thing to me. So what do you mean by that?
As a
What
music
kind of
artist,
artist?
let's go there. As a music artist, I'm gonna just say this: as a music artist in a place where everybody doesn't know it's nothing else but freaking drill music, what's one of the obstacles you've had to overcome as a lyricist in this
As a
city?
lyricist. So fortunately for me, I came up in the golden era of hip hop when lyricism was appreciated. But I also came up under the delusion that you could only be real if you was underground. So
Mm,
I was surrounded by a lot of talented people that was comfortable where they was at. And my
mm,
ambition was to do more than be where I was at, but my lyricism was being really appreciated. So it's kind of hard to step away from your comfort zone, if you will. But now that I look at the industry and the artists that I really listen to and I appreciated their lyricism, it's only really a couple of them that's still relevant today. And I don't know if they getting money off of touring or, other ways that they could, they probably just got away from music and went into construction or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that they bums. I'm just saying that for me as a consumer of the music, a lot of those artists that I liked and that I bought their music and listened to, they're not really relevant today in terms of the space of music. So, so for me as an artist, looking back on it, I have to say I wouldn't really change anything. I really love growing up hip hop, because Chicago was house, and I was house too. I love house, you know what I'm saying? But to me, a lot of house music, the frequency and vibration of the house music is attached to gangbanging. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? All of the house parties used to just end up with, and this was back when it was fighting. So it was, not as much shooting, but
Gotcha.
house music is damn near like slam music in my chi. You know what I'm saying? Like when I hear house music, a lot of times it reminds me of wild ass violent teenagers. You know what I'm saying? So for me, hip hop was an escape from that frequency. Not from the life, because that was a life that, I lived, that was around me and my family, what have you, but not everybody around me was into hip hop. So going into my writing was kind of like my outlet, my solace. You know what I'm saying? My sanctum sanctorum. That's where I would go to meditate into my poems. And so the New York hip hop added a soundtrack to my poems. You know what I mean? And then when I got with a crew and I could just have it, like they producing beats as fast as I can write, again, we comfortable where we at first, but then I'm seeing who blowing up and I'm like, damn, I could probably do something with this. But when you around everybody, it's more like a religious gathering more so than a music journey.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like that's the, hip hop was kind of more damn near like religious than a career choice. So from that standpoint, that nurtured the pen that I have today. So I have to say my experience as an artist, as a writer, is I wouldn't change it.
Most definitely. Can you talk about the importance of having music and art in school?
Music and art in school?
Yes.
Ooh, well, teaching starts at home. School is about learning, and learning comes by way of teaching. So every life is school, right? And we need to change our idea of where we're supposed to get our learning and our teaching from. If you sending your kids to someplace else to be learned and taught what you're not teaching them at home, then you you going against your own, you're going against the outcomes that you want, right? And one of the things that, not to quote the whole page, but one of the pages in the book, to sum it up, outlook equals outcome. The way you see things is going to determine how it's going to play out. So if you just sending your kids to school for a babysitter during the day and they supposed to pick up on something that you're not reiterating or teaching them at home, they're not going to get it. So with me, I let my kids hear me working on music in the house. You know what I'm saying? I hang pictures and art in the house. I give them the things that I want them to think about. And then that way, even if they're at school and it's not music in the school, it'll be in them to initiate bringing music to the school. Now you got a musical innovator, so a lot of times the things that you want to achieve are what sculpt you to be the person that you become. And it's not always exactly what you thought it was going to be. Absolutely. So I don't look at these American, European institutions as school. I look at them as buildings that house people during the day and keep us out of the sun. it keeps us away from nature. That's not school.
I know when I was growing up, the biggest thing that would save me literally from being in that institution that you're talking about that led to us, let me not even start going there, but what helped me to survive that was having music and poetry and art as well. I had a little bit of difficult time because I'm not really good at the drawing thing, but
Yeah.
I was always good at like dance and music and acting and all of that. So,
Yeah.
and I'm 6'2", so like people were mad because I didn't play basketball. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm an artist. I don't understand why this is a problem. I don't understand why you care because it just has nothing to do with you, anyways. But
Right.
that's just not my skill set. So, with the amount of mess I had to go through because I didn't play ball, I'm just like, seriously? Like, it's not
Yeah.
like I didn't. I've been my height since I was 12 years old. So, like,
Yeah.
all the coaches are mad at me. And I'm sitting here like, I can't play the game. Why are we having this conversation? Like, and this is my life, not yours. A whole bunch of whatever. But again, I
Yeah.
go back to the fact of like, music helped me to survive all that craziness because
No
I'm just
doubt.
like, seriously, you know what I
But see,
mean?
the only music that I really got in school was the recorder. And I
Really?
hated the recorder because that teacher
Wow.
also used the recorder to punish us. So, fuck the recorder.
What?
Excuse me, I don't know if I can curse on here,
You're
but
good.
as far as like, I'm just being funny, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't really get a lot of music or art that stuck with me from school. So
Okay,
maybe that's
gotcha.
why my perspective is like most of the stuff that I got from the government that stuck with me was after school and the after school programs. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? And a certain president came along and took away those programs, and then you know, um, it wasn't there in the community no more. So all of the art and music influence that I got was mostly in the house.
gotcha. Yeah, I got it in school, and then actually started choir when I was in school, and
Mm,
I absolutely out of school as well. And then I had dance at home because my mother was a dance teacher. And
right.
so I learned how to belly dance at age 6. I did that up until my early 20s on a consistent basis. And so, like I said, just knowing and seeing what art as a whole has done for myself and for some of my friends. And now some of them are still in dance, and some of them have gone on to other forms of art, like they have their own beauty companies or whatever the situation may be. But I think the main thing that allowed all of us to be able to thrive was at a very young age, we were told we were princesses, we were told we were beautiful, we were told we were valuable, and
Yeah.
that us to be able to do whatever we wanted to do and know how to navigate this crazy society that tries to tell you that you're not.
Yeah. Definitely. I agree. Having art around me, black art around me growing up, and I never really, again, I never didn't have this influence around me. So I kind of don't know what it's like to not have it. And that's not a flex. That's just reality. Like I've always had black art around me. So, you know, when I was older, like in high school, when my grandmother really, because she's been an artist before her career took off.
Mm,
She had in the basement in our home over on 66 in Claremont, like right off of Marquette. And that home is torn down now, but in the basement of that home, she had painted all of the walls with the Sugar Shack. The Arnie Barnes Sugar Shack image was painted in full size on the walls.
wow.
You know what I mean? So like when you go down there, you look over, it looks like a dude sitting on a chair next to you, but this is the painting on the wall. Like she did it life size. It was very dope.
Mhm.
So and this was way before she was known as Annie Lee or had Blue Monday or any of that. So she was always a fan of the arts too. Her art collection was pretty big. So um like I said, I just don't know what it would be like to not have that. But when I really think about it, having that is important.
Mhm.
Just like you were saying, it's important to see yourself in valuable spaces so that your imagination can go there. We don't understand a lot of times these visual aids are like keys. These musical aids are like keys. So, and that's another reason why I appreciated lyricism in music so much, because I think we have to be held accountable for the things that we say. You know, I think we have to.
Hold on, wait. No, before, because I will get off track. So wait, okay. So what you just said was that we should be accountable for the things that we say, right? So if
Absolutely.
we decide to say things like we harm someone on a record, and then someone plays back that record, and then they get in trouble for it, that's because we weren't accountable for what we said on that record, right?
Yeah, that's how it seems. I mean, if you go in that line of thinking, a lot of people don't think along those lines of thinking. Though, you know, we have to um, realize that we're in a world full of choices, and people make good choices and bad choices. But most people, regardless to whether a choice is bad or good, will stand on or stand behind that decision because that's how they saw it, right? So when I say accountable, um, like for me, I can really only be accountable for me. You know what I'm saying? I can't be accountable for the next man. So um, you know, the deception is in what the people in power are putting out there the most.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Because some, like for instance, I've been listening to Scarface in my car, like that's all I play in my car. It's on repeat, deeply rooted, and he be saying some raw shit. Period. It's uncut raw, right? But I can listen to it and appreciate it for the pictures that are being painted. Whereas
Mm.
my 15-year-old son might hop in the car and take it as an instruction on how to treat people. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? So I can't, when it comes to being accountable, I'm just speaking in terms of being accountable for what I say. That way, if I'm ever questioned about, well, you said, you know, shoot a nigga in the face, then I can stand on that and say, yeah, because I saw somebody get shot in the face. So I was trying to convey that emotion.
But
You know?
I think the problem is that there's a difference, right? There's telling a story,
Yeah.
and then there's confessing the crime. There's a difference.
There is a difference.
There's a huge difference, and I think
There
that
there is a
that's the
difference.
problem that we have right now is that we have too many people that don't understand that. Like, be careful what you say on a record. If you're confessing your crimes on tape, you can't get mad
Right.
because you got
Well,
caught.
yeah, and that's the thing too, is like a lot when street music became the popular genre, then street people who want money and have bills said, okay, I'll make music, but they not really in love with the art. They're in love with what the art brings. They're in love with the money and the attention.
That part.
So that's the difference, is you feel the intent. You know,
That
you
part.
might have somebody who got the credentials to say all of that stuff, and you still feel them, and they never bring it up.
I promise you, because people understand.
You know what I'm saying?
What
The
you
real gonna recognize the real. That's at the end of the
Oh,
day.
hi, Mama.
Say what's up,
She's
country.
so cute.
Hello.
Hi. Adore you. But that's what it's all about. It's all about building legacies, building generational wealth, building these youth to understand how valuable that they are in a world that tells them that they're not.
Right.
That's why, it's funny because we were supposed to do this interview yesterday, but we just happened to now do it on International Women's Day.
Hey.
In a world that consistently tells women how invaluable that we are. It is so
Pause.
amazing to be able to work with you, to celebrate your grandmother, who is the epitome of an international woman, who's made international headlines with her artwork, who's had her artwork seen around the world on so many occasions I can't even count. So it is an honor to be working with you on this project. I can't wait to see all the amazing things that come together.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise. And for anybody that don't know, you know, for my grandmother for this to be her 10-year, you know, transition year, or heavenly birthday year, or however you express somebody passing over. and to still be have the relevance that she does, with all of the things going on in the world, the distractions, for her name to still ring bells as loud as it does. And she was independent.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
She built 2 galleries in the communities that she came out of, that she lived in. She helped thousands of galleries, to Black-owned women's businesses, to get established around the country with her art. They could call our gallery. This is me growing up with Annie in my teenage years, and I run a warehouse that she built where she's manufacturing the prints, the note cards, the figurines, the paperweights, the apron, mitten sets. Like, she's got a whole operation going on, and she's independent. She doesn't have partners. She doesn't have a whole corporation. She's using her family and the people around her just like other coaches do, and then it got bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, from working in her gallery, I learned how to run the front desk. I learned how to run shipping and handling in a warehouse. I learned how to be a packer in a warehouse. I learned how to host and hold business meetings. And then on top of that, how to be productive in my own craft. She was one of the most prolific painters in her era. That's why I said we starting with Blue Monday, but she's got like right now I'm working on putting together her catalog resume so that people can really start to put the images that they've been around with the name. People have had Annie Lee around them and in their family in intricate ways, like threads in a seam, and not even know that that's the artist's name. So when we do this catalog resume, I'm working with my mentor right now, um, and finishing up my appraisal certification so that I can add that to the foundation's credentials, for the owners group. And we've been reaching out to all the people that own Annie Lee Originals to help them understand that collectively right now, Annie's all right, have a good day. Love you too. Annie's collection and body of work is owned probably, I don't know the exact number, but I would say about 85% of her original work is in the Black community.
That's
That's
amazing.
that is important. So when I say we have an Annie Lee Owners Group at the foundation, or if you see AFL, the foundation is the Annie F. Lee Art Foundation. It's abbreviated AFL 35.
Mm.
That's my grandmother. I'm the founder. Founded it in 2015, the year after she passed. This being 2024, she passed in 2014, and we've been growing slowly. Honestly, for the past 10 years, or I say 9 years, because the last year I actually hooked up with the commission that I mentioned earlier. But for 9 years strong, I did everything myself. I wore every hat on the hat rack, because this being my grandmother, I was so protective of this legacy. It's a American art legacy, but it's also my family legacy. It's also my best friend's work, her life's work. And I know she dedicated her entire career to making Black people be seen how we see ourselves. She gave us our kudos in the way she created our form. She showed our ease of doing things in a way that it's almost like, back in the day, we used to have the photo albums. It's like having a African American photo album. They used to compare the like she was the Black Norman Rockwell, and I think Tom Joyner called it the Michael Jordan of Black art. Like, these
Wow.
are things that important people have said about this woman whose art career started when she was 50.
Wow.
I'm 50 this year, right? So again, when you talk about school and learning and teaching, from the teaching that I got from this amazing Black woman is that I'm just now seasoned enough to start a career.
Mm. Mm.
I'm just now ready to fully pursue my career with the understanding and the background necessary to make it a legacy.
Mm.
So for me to have the honor of carrying her legacy for this time. And then for Brian, the gentleman I mentioned who has the Woodshop Gallery in Chicago, make sure you go check out the Woodshop. His father, Dan, went to high school with Annie. They attended Wendell Phillips High School together. And Dan went on to do his thing with the art, and he's broken a lot of Black artists into the industry and brought a lot of amazing Black artists through Chicago, through his woodshop. Didn't know that his high school friend was even an artist because, again, out of high school, she had my mom, got married, started a whole nother life. The job she was doing when my Uncle Pip was killed in '86, the job that she was on, she retired from, to give you an idea of how long she had been at the railroad. Like she literally was a working mom. She wasn't doing art, but she was an artist, right? So when she finally took that sabbatical when my uncle got killed, that year she took off, she threw herself into her art. And that's when she created Blue Monday. So a lot of people look at Blue Monday and they say it's humorous, but it's funny because it's true, right? Like when you look at that picture, you see her pain, but you also see her perseverance.
Yes.
And it's just amazing that picture is about this big. The original Blue Monday is like 18 by 24. It's a small painting. And that little painting has made its way all the way to the SNL stage.
Yes.
with Lizzo recreating that body of work. That's something that had never been done. So her doing that, I get a call from the Chicago Sun-Times. Hey, this is the Annie Lee Foundation, right? Did you guys know about the internet blew up? It went crazy.
Yep.
Everybody, I don't know if they thought that was going to go under the radar, but the internet went completely nuts.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and everybody was like, she did Blue Monday. So first of all, what that did to the world is that let all of us in the hood know, oh, people like Lizzo and Saturday Night Live are aware of Annie Lee. The quote unquote elites know who she is. They're using her stuff. But then what it let the elites know is we all know who she is too. Like the hood went crazy. Like, yo, we know our Blue Monday when we see it. You see what I'm saying? So it was kind of like this thing that happened where they called me and they interviewed me. And, as a result, Brian called me and was congratulating me on just, what was going on. And I mentioned to him, the reason Annie never did clothing when she was alive, because she told me specifically, she said, I'm keeping the clothing for you. That's your thing, with the little hip hop or whatever. So she was always like, when we would go to an event, it was kind of like with the Bad Kids. We go to an event where she's the guest artist, but she always leave a little space for me to bring my goods and, be able to do my thing too. So, that's another one of the jewels that I got from her is the communal aspect of working with my people. You know what I'm saying? And making it where it's we could have a good time, but we could get at this bread too. You know what I'm saying? And it was really funny because that's what I kind of was able to embrace with Malik, was to come out of that underground rapper mindset. Like, no, bro, you have a great pen. You can write hits.
Yes.
You can actually have a career, even if you don't want to be on the main stage rapping at this point. You can still make a career out of your craft. You don't have to be underground. And that was with Annie. She was all about education. She was about her bread. She was a leader, but she was a nurturer. So, she was one of them type of people that made me embrace the concept of leaving things better than how I found them. Like that's the energy that I try to carry into any situation, is I want to leave things better than how I found it. But to do that, you got to be invested. Yes. And if I'm not invested, then I'm not going to be involved.
That part there. So first of all, I want to say that you are incredible. I am I'm in awe of all the amazing things that you continue to do. Thank you again for allowing Bad Kids to be a part of just beautiful legacy of your grandmother. I'm so excited that we're going to get to celebrate her 10 years transition on this earth with you. I am so proud of you for everything that you continue to accomplish. You are so strong. You're such a beautiful person. And your kids are amazing, so sweet. And your family is just really, really beautiful. And it's been a blessing to be able to get to connect with your family as well.
Thank you. And we are, we family. So like I appreciate that. And I've had to lean on my new family a lot. And y'all have held me down, and it's just I can't wait to see what we do moving forward.
Most definitely. So before we get out of here, go ahead and tell people where they can find you, follow you, and most importantly, book you.
Well, if you want to just see what's going on with me, you could go to either my websites, www.afl35.com. Again, that's www.afl35.com. Or you can go to that's for the foundation. And if you want to go to my website as an artist and what I contributed to the Juneteenth festival is called FOBA. That's officially kind of like the marquee name of the exhibit, and that's short for Faces of Black Americana. And the website is www.onfonam.com. If you're from Chicago, you know what OnFonem is. If not, that's ON, the number 4, NEM.com, www.onfonem.com. And that's how you can look your boy up. Other than that, Google Abe Ilo, and I'm right there.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much again. We definitely got to have you come back, maybe even with some of your partners, and talk a little bit more about foundation and love to have Granson come on and talk about some of the fashion pieces that you guys are doing, because I know he has done amazing work.
Oh yeah, it's about to get real serious with the clothing.
Yes.
It's called Saint Ali. It's a luxury line. It's going to involve some silks and some diamond brooches, and we're going to the next level with the clothing line. And as far as what we're doing with the art and her, like I said, we coming with the catalog resume. So we calling all of the Annie Lee original painting owners, contact the foundation, and basically register your art so that it can be included in the catalog resume. That's going to be huge, because that's what's going to bring value to those pieces. It's going to step up our presence in the art world. And then, like I said, by 85% of Annie's originals being in the Black community, we have to look at that as a degree of wealth. Like, we need to know who each other are, so that when her catalog is worth $1 billion, you can account for your stake in that. Yes. And that's about as simple as I could put that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for coming on. Love you to death. Can't wait to release this music, because honey, this music is everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. it is.
Good. All right, y'all. Continue to express what makes.
Just in case you thought that it wasn't thinking about you. Lord, save my baby, make her to a lady. She's always my princess, yes, Lord bless her. I pray the words of the song make it to a dresser. May an angel with some dirt up on her wings come caress her. And all that you do, Lord, keep her in your plan, and help her realize parents just don't understand. On this planet I roam, I just wanna be home. Won't be long and I'm gone, I don't wanna be wrong. I just wanna be right, I just wanna see light. I'm on a rough and rugged path, I just wanna be strong. She was only 13, going on 30. A flirty jazzy girl who mama stays sturdy. Daddy been gone cause the marriage topsy-turvy. One morning feeling sick, she gon' be a mama early. She was clean, chick fiends to be with pops and wouldn't stop by any means. Dodged the bullet on the baby, so it seems. Little hickeys on her neck and fingerprints on her jeans. Hickeys on the neck, a boy you really like, but he shows you no respect. A father that's missing. Daddy come home, he don't know your gruesome boobies and let alone kissing little boys. Mama stay tripping, making noise. All the same seasons change up until the noise. From spring to summer, summer to the fall. From grace once a name, now we're faced with a number. Out of place, trying to find your position in the slumber, and hoping that the ways of the world don't take you under. Stay strong, baby. Lord, save my baby, make her to a lady. She's always my princess, yes, Lord, bless her. I pray the words of this song make it to a dresser. May an angel with some dirt up on her wings come caress her. And all that you do, Lord, keep her in your plan and help her realize parents just don't understand. On this planet I roam, I just wanna be home. Won't be long and I'm gone, I don't wanna be wrong. I just wanna be right, I just wanna see light. I'm on a rough and rugged path, I just wanna be strong. Daddy's little girl, his female look-alike, saw the world unafraid, strayed then took a bite. The eve of enlightenment, fruit from the tree of life. I wanted so much more for you, instead it's just me you like me on the cross in the dark needing Christ in your life, like me. Man, I don't want you to be like me, but you just like me. Keep your head up, all I can say. Lord, save my baby, make her to a lady. She's always my princess, yes, Lord, bless her. I pray the words of the song make it to a dresser. May an angel with some dirt up on her wings come caress her. And all that you do, Lord, keep her in your plan and help her realize parents just don't understand. On this planet I roam, I just wanna be home. Won't be long and I'm gone, I don't wanna be wrong. I just wanna be right, I just wanna see light. I'm on a rough and rugged path, I just wanna be strong.
Next legacy.
Are you searching for the perfect gift? Or do you just need a unique statement piece for yourself? Well, either way, Danaya Azure will help you out. What you need is the S3e3 jewelry collection by Danaya Azure Radio. S3e3 stands for strictly for a stage. Stand out at your next photo or video shoot. Snag that magazine cover. Go from being a part-time extra to an actor or actress who stays booked. Or just be the talk of the town at every event. Danaya Azure jewelry is handcrafted and Chicago-made for men, women, and children. To start your collection, simply go to www.danayaazure.com. That's www.danayaazure.com. That's www.danayaazure.com.
Next legacy.